As a host of CBC Television's business and financial programs, including CBC Morning and appearing on the Lang and O'Leary Exchange, Danielle Bochove has shown the ability to connect with audiences, as she will today, and synthesize complex stories with flair. I mean, she's cool. She was multimedia before it was in fashion, with over 15 years of experience in 5 countries and on 3 different continents: North America, Europe, and Asia. And she's conducted over 10,000 interviews on the trading floors of the world's top exchanges, in corporate boardrooms, and in government offices. You can't throw her off her game, and she could probably kick your butt in Scrabble. Bochove began her career in Canada with the Globe and Mail and the Financial Post, and then she moved to Reuters' Tokyo Bureau as the Asian economic crisis was breaking, contributing award-winning coverage to the financial meltdown and interviewing finance ministers and central bankers throughout the region. And maybe she gave them a stock tip or two, because everything's turned around and now China owns everything except the Boston Pizza I'm going to have lunch at later today. Today she freelances for the Economist Intelligence Unit and Maclean's Magazine, and she can be seen tomorrow night on the co-hosting the Lang and O'Leary Exchange on CBC. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Danielle Bochove.
We'll play Scrabble. It's always a little surprising to see so many actual people when I do these things, because when I'm in the studio, of course, you know, the audience at home could be hundreds of thousands of people, but I only actually have to look at a couple of camera guys and a floor director. So to make it a little easier on myself, if you don't mind, I thought today that I'm going to think of this side of the room as camera 1, camera 2. You people in the middle can be the floor director, which means you should spend the next 20 minutes eating a sandwich and tweeting. I've been a journalist for almost 20 years, primarily business, although I've covered just about everything at some point. Roughly half my career has been outside Canada, and most of that has been spent covering some sort of economic meltdown, a crisis. One of the things I've noticed in recent years, and there's been a lot written about this lately, is the fact that the business world seems to be approaching catastrophe increasingly often. I think there are a lot of reasons for that, and one of the big ones is the fact that never before in our history have the world economies been so integrated. When people ask me about business, they usually ask questions around 4 areas. Everybody asks me the first question right away, so I get it out of the way off the top, which is, they ask me about Kevin O'Leary, and yes, he really is like that in real life. The other 4 things, though, that people want to know about: number 1, jobs, obviously. Will I have one? Where are the opportunities going to be? Number 2, inflation. How much is stuff going to cost in the future? Will my wages keep up? Number 3, debt. If I have to borrow to buy something that I want or I need, am I going to be able to make those payments and eventually pay off the debt? And number 4, of course, is retirement. Will I be able to stop working at a reasonable age and live comfortably for, hopefully, a couple of decades? These are the most important financial questions in the world to every one of us, and the answer is the same to everyone. It depends. It depends what happens in the emerging markets in China. It depends what happens in Europe. It depends what happens in the United States, our biggest trading partner. And that is because the world's economies have never before been so integrated. If you don't understand what is happening globally, you can't make sound financial plans. I really believe that, and yet so often people who don't work on Bay Street tell me that they don't follow international business, either because they don't understand it, or worse, because they find it dull, which is just a knife to the heart. I think it means as well that we as business journalists are failing, because the fact is, most days, if you look at the news of the day, the most important stories in the world come back to business. Who has money and who doesn't?